What's up, family, friends, and foes? It's your girl, Philly Cigar Joint.
And your guy, Chief, bringing you another episode of Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos. So you know what time it is. Grab your glasses and your sticks, and let's get ready to smoke another hot topic. Welcome back, family. As you can see today, we have a special guest, and as you probably can notice from our opening, that we already had our special guest here sitting with us. So what we're going to do without further delay is we are going to allow our special guest to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. This is an honor and a pleasure. I'm Stratton. I'm the Leather King. I make handmade, exclusive, one-of-a-kind leather bags. My business has been in business since 2013, but I have been sewing since I was 9, and I've been working with leather over 25 years.
Oh, wow. That is nice. So let's get into it. I know Philly has some questions that she want to ask you, and thank you for that introduction.
Yeah, so, okay, you just stated that you have been into leather since the age of 9. Walk us through that. Like, how did you go from just, I guess at the age of 9, having an interest in leather to actually owning your own business in the leather field?
Well, I've been sewing since I was 9.
Okay.
So my mother had 2 boutiques.
Okay. Oh.
And as I was a young kid, and I used to like to cut my pants. You know, at that time, we ain't really have a lot.
Right.
So in the summertime, she would cut my pants, but she would stitch them up so that the little fuzzy part wasn't showing.
Right.
I didn't like that. So it got times where she couldn't do that and she was too busy. And I asked her to show me how to do it. And that's when I started sewing. And she started bringing me into her boutique and showing me all the little technical things, how to use a sewing machine, how to hand stitch, how to put things back and forth.
Right. So from there, when did you start to sell or design your own product?
Well, it wasn't a transition like that.
Okay.
My transition was a little bit more grimmer. Okay. So I grew up in a really bad neighborhood. I like to say I consider it like the Holocaust of growing up. It was that bad and it was that tragic, you know, and just stepping out my doorway, you either had to be a lamb or a wolf. You had to choose. It wasn't easy. So growing up in that type of environment, I got in trouble at a very young age. And then I was convicted of a crime, and I went away. I had a 20-year sentence. Wow. I got a 20-year sentence, federal sentence. Now, I made a conscious decision during that time of incarceration to change who I was, to change how I was, to learn more about myself and to get more educated so that when I came home, I could be a productive part of the society. So during that incarceration, I started honing in on what I was taught at a young age from my mother. I started learning how to sew. They had leather programs there. But I had an edge. The edge that I had was I already knew how to sew.
Right.
So when they was working on the leather bags there, their leather bags was more like country bags. They made saddle bags. They didn't get into what the women in my city wore, which were luxury designer bags. Mm-hmm. So I learned how to make the bags they were making. And then I'm self-taught on learning just from magazines, looking and then making the bags that I wanted to make.
Right.
So that was the transition. I got put away and I made the best of the situation and decided that I wanted to be better in life. And I just took on a trade that already came natural to me, which was sewing and designing.
That's a powerful story.
Thank you.
Very powerful.
Yeah, yes. Very powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a very compelling and interesting story. But you know, it's a story about challenges, but it's a story about success too. And really, that's why we're here today, because you know we've seen some of your success. Not knowing you personally, Philly has seen your work on social media platforms, and so you know, I want to take, before I go further, I want to take a moment to say to you, as I've said to other guests, thanks for answering the call.
Thank you.
Because not everybody that you reach out to and say, hey, we like what you're doing. We like to showcase what you're doing. We like to have you on the show to be able to talk to our audience and the world about what you're doing. So I always take a point of personal privilege to say thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Like, it's a two-way street. You know, we are gaining in our communities and in our culture. And I want to be a part of that. Like, it's a pleasure to be able to see somebody who sees you, recognizes you, and want to put you on their platform. And it's like, all right, well, let's wash each other's hand.
Yeah.
Let's do it together. How can we barter and go back and forth then build?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's thank you for sharing your story, right? And bringing us up to where we are here today. So tell me about some of the platforms that your work has been on. Have you been a part of TV shows? Have you been a part of fashion shows, magazines? Have, you know, actors, artists, singers? You know, talk about that a little bit, about your work.
Okay, so like, I pat myself on the back, and I advise anybody out there that's doing something and it come from some type of struggle, whether it's just struggling getting out the car with the bags, pat yourself on the back. Because, like I said, I was incarcerated. I came home in 2012. I started my business in 2013, and I've been home for 10 years now, a little teeny bit over 10 years. So during that 10 years, when I came out, I touched the ground running. As soon as I touched out, my focus was focus on this business stuff. Well, I was, like I said, when I was in there, I was learning everything I needed to learn. So I started building my business. And me running, I just ran into any avenue I could run into that would help build my business. Since most people that be incarcerated are people that are mostly entrepreneurs, people that want to run their own business. I'm not talking about people that just want to create a violent slope. I'm talking about the people that came in my era was the war on crack. Now, I mean, these mostly were entrepreneurs, and I fall into that lane. So I just turned it around from the illegal aspect, and I brought the legal aspect because I wanted to build what I was trying to build. But I wanted to take it to learning about teaching the community as well. So I ran across fashion shows, first small fashion shows. Then when people saw my work, I was blessed to get standing ovations. No one was doing what I was doing. I was making handmade, exclusive, one-of-a-kind leather bags. I was making small bags, big bags. I was making exclusive bags that you can't wear regular in public, which they call couture. It's just more like a concept bag, you know. So I've been on New York Fashion Week, Atlanta Fashion Week. I've been at Jersey, Atlantic City. I've done a lot of fashion weeks, and I've kind of dumbed it down to only doing like fashion shows that have a meaning, like breast cancer awareness or autism. I do like those type of fashion shows more so because I learned a lot about fashion just jumping into it. I've been in movies. A lot of my pieces have been in movies. I've dealt with a lot of B-listed celebrities, and in between, some of the top celebrities have my pieces. But I have a lot of clientele with people who want one-of-a-kind exclusive pieces. So I've done a lot, and right now I'm in a movie. I'm in a movie with a artist. He's a writer, and he also has his own movie company. And I'm a theater company, and it's called the Lawrence Theater Company.
Okay.
So I'm in his movie right now, and he's going to turn it into a series.
Oh, wow.
So,
Excellent.
my pieces are in there right now. And then also, our Frankie Darcell from WDAS, my pieces are in her play her play is scheduled for this month, November. She's going to have a play called Sisters Conversation. So I'm involved, and I'm happy, and every time I get to interact with different people, I win. I feel a sense of success.
That's
And
awesome.
as you should.
Thank you.
And it's great that your product is on different platforms. You're not just going one path. You're out there in fashion shows, like you said, in plays. You have well-known individuals wearing your pieces. So you're constantly advertising your work. So let's talk about your work. So let's talk about the process. So let's get into okay, give us an example of what it takes to make a bag from start to finish. What's the process?
So, like I said, I may have not said, but I'm self-taught. I'm self-taught. My mother gave me the lane on sewing. And then when it came to leather, I was taught the basics of how to put a bag together. But when it came to garment bags, that's something that I had to learn totally myself, just from viewing and trying to make my own concept of how it would look. And it's something that my mother taught me in the early processes of me learning about bags. And that's about, because I like to cater to women. I cater to women. My big thing is to make bags for women.
Right.
No offense to the men, but I like to make something that a woman wears, and then I can say, I made that.
Right.
I made it. Look at that bag she got on. Look how she wearing it. I made that.
Right.
So when I make a bag, I come from scratch. I make a blueprint. I create a piece, and then I get the piece in my head. A lot of times I don't write it down. A lot of times I don't draw it out. I just start cutting pieces and putting pieces together. Even when someone orders a specific piece from me, I will put the pattern in my head based off what they say, and then I start carving it out, cutting the pieces and putting it together. My mother told me that I need to compartmentalize. Women love pockets. That's something I wasn't doing in the beginning. I put one pocket in the bag. That was okay. But when I started putting 8 pockets in 8 different sections, then now it was over. The women was like, oh my God. They would look at the outside and love it, but when they opened it up, they loved it even more because they could separate so much different things they got from us. You know what I mean? You might got your gum, a lighter, your cell phone. They list goes on. They got list.
Right.
Lipstick,
But,
foundation,
yeah,
keys,
what? Don't
phone,
She can go on.
pictures.
What?
Yes.
It's
That's
a
true.
lot. But I will cut the bag up, and then I start putting it together, hand stitching everything together. And then when I get to my flip status, or when it can stand up, or when it's at a part where it's a bag, that's when I feel my most content. Because I'm like, okay, there it is. Everything after that is easy. And this can be anywhere from a 5-day process to building it to 6 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about just my regular work hours, 8 hours coming in, working on that bag per day. You know what I mean? I like to work 7 days a week. I'm not going to lie. I'm always in here.
Yeah.
I'm in my shop every day, if not all day, every day. So that's the process of putting the bag together.
So now that you explained the process, let's get into your price range, like starting from your bags, small, large. What's the range, the price range?
So, like, if I take a bag, if I take a piece of leather, right? Imagine just taking a square piece of leather, and cut a square, then put one side on another side, put a zipper in it, and then I put a little strap with a wristlet on it, right? Now that's a wristlet. Any woman could carry that, put her stuff in there. A bag like that might be $100.
Okay.
I didn't do a lot to it. It's going to have my brand on there. It's going to have the A Stratton logo on there. Okay. But now when we start getting more intricate into maybe I like to work with exotic leathers. I'll take a piece of python. That same python bag is going to be $400 just because of the python. Right. And then say if I start maybe on that back of that little square bag, I put a pocket where you can slide your cell phone in. Maybe I put a little catch on both sides of the back of there where you can actually use it as a fanny pack. Or I'll add 2 little D-rings on the side where you can put a long strap and then carry the crossbody. You got 3 functions in that small bag, that small python bag. That bag may start now maybe $600 for that bag. Okay, so that's just that small bag. And then just to give you an example of how the pricing goes. But then you get to more unique bags. I get more creative. I look at my work as artwork.
It is.
And then when I do the bag, each one of my pieces is one of a kind. I'm not making it again. So you're getting the feel of royalty. You're getting the royalty of having that bag exclusively. No one else has it. And you don't have to worry about seeing it again. Because let's be for real. When you'll have people, you got people, even when they wear the high-end stuff, Louis, Gucci, you'll have people go in Saks Fifth Ave, and everybody's buying those different things, right? Or Walmart, whatever, people could dress things up.
Yeah.
But when people go to something exclusive, you having a ball or a gala, black tie affair, you don't want everybody, you want to get a leather vest made, you don't want everybody wearing your vest. You want to come in, all right, it's cool. If we at fishing, all right, we got the same vest on. We at the show, I want to be like, oh no, you see this?
Yeah.
We ain't twinning.
Right.
Not tonight. So that's exclusiveness is
Right.
one of my things that I give you. And another thing I give you is a lifetime warranty. So if you pop one of my bags or break one of my bags, you can hit me up. Hey, Stratton, the joint pop. Okay, yeah, bring it through. I can fix it. No problem.
Love it.
And so you would say your bags in terms of range, you start around the 100, 400, 600. So they go as high as what prices?
10,000.
10,000. Okay.
10,000. I have a alligator bag. I'm not sure if it's here or not, but it has an alligator head on it. That one is 7,500.
Okay.
Okay. I have a jacket that's in the shop now that's 10,000. So
You going for the ballers. You look. Man,
No,
listen, you
I feel
gotta
like-
have some fun.
I feel like that's light.
But I'm
I feel
saying.
like that's light because it's about knowing your target market.
Yep.
So I'm not looking for people that's like, oh man, I can't afford that because I got this, and that. Well, I feel like, okay, well, maybe you should wait until you can afford that. You know what I mean? Sometimes we go before our means. My target market is people that can afford to pay for royalty, that can afford to pay for one-of-a-kind exclusive pieces. You know? So I don't look at my prices as high. I look at my stuff as artwork, one-of-a-kind, not to be seen again. And leather, which I work with leather and mostly leather, and then I work with some mink, is like diamonds and pearls. It stands the test of time.
Right.
You know, you got leather bags that people got that they passed down for 5 and 6 generations.
Yeah.
That's true.
Family heirlooms.
Yep.
Yes.
Just like to your point, artwork.
Artwork.
When
yes.
you purchase artwork,
That's right.
it increases in value. It doesn't decrease.
No.
Right. And it
Yeah.
lasts forever.
So that's a great way to look at your product.
Thank you.
It
Yes,
is
and that's how I
artwork.
do it. When you get a piece from me, my mom does pieces now, right? I ain't gonna be the I'm not. It's 7 of us. I ain't gonna be the mama's boy. She swear to God, I'm not. So my mom makes artworks. This is what my mom does. She takes my leather pieces, right, and then she uses canvases and she creates artwork with leather pieces and mink.
Oh, wow.
I need mom's number. What I love
Yeah, she go
artwork.
here and she
Yes.
calls her page. If you go to her page, it's called Ragabless.
Ragabless.
Yeah, we on our yard
So that's
status.
another show.
Yes, it is.
Y'all get my mom up here.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna love my mom.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
another guest.
Yeah, 'cause I come from a
love
long
that.
line of hustlers, and I don't know if y'all can vouch for this, but most of the hustlers that was in my family were women. Where they were selling dinners, iced tea.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely,
for
yes.
sure. My
Yes.
mama,
Yes.
back in the day,
know,
house
what?
party, selling dinner,
Yeah.
admission price to get in.
Yeah.
That was called the rent party, people.
Yeah.
Back
Yes.
in the day.
They don't know that rent getting
That's
paid.
That's right.
You think
One way or
that catfish
another.
That's
was
right.
getting fried for nothing?
That's right. Or them frozen cups was getting stacked in the freezer for
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. We know.
The Kool-Aid
we
cups,
know
bro.
that. That's right.
So, Stratton, when you talk about the exoticness of some of your pieces, and you talked about the alligator head and all that, how do you acquire your materials to make your products?
So I do some insourcing within the states, within the United States, a very small percentage. Most of all my leather comes from Africa, from Sudan.
Oh, wow.
So I have a friend there. So like he'll go shopping for me. I'll send him the money and we'll be FaceTiming and he be shopping. Or, we be on WhatsApp now and we shop and he showing me you want this, and I'm getting it. And I normally don't go until I can get a crate. I spend a substantial amount of money. I get a crate. And then, then I compensate him because that's my partner. But I love it because we know each other. We've met in person. So now, instead of me going through a manufacturer or these other brokers or agents, I can go through him and then I get what I want, and then he sends it, and then, like I said, I feel good because I'm getting it from other people that look like me. You know what I mean? And then I get to give it back and say, hey, this leather came from Africa, came from Sudan.
Wow.
Right.
So, do you ever travel to Sudan yourself?
No, that's on my list.
Okay.
That's on my list.
Man, that's a unique approach to it, and it's admirable. It's commendable to make that type of connection. And I'm gonna say back to the motherland,
Yes.
all right?
Yes.
Because we know that the motherland is full of resources, and the land is rich in all the things that any
As much
nation
as they
would
tried to
need.
take, they couldn't take it all.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's unique. So so when you get you say you source most of your product from Africa, and you say you wait till you get like a crate full of it, right?
Yeah. So normally I'll get a crate and then I'll be working on that. And then when it starts getting low, like a quarter, I see something, I'm like, damn, I need some, or I get an order. If I get an order, like I said, see, like now here we go. Say a client comes in and they want a leather jacket and they want a specific type of leather. That may take 6-month process. I got to order it. It has to come, which is like a 2-month process. They got to get measured. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm charging for that? $1,000?
Right. Are the skins already prefabricated, or is there anything that you need to do to them when you get to them?
No, so I'm buying everything that's processed.
Okay.
Everything's processed. Leather goes through its own process. And that's one of the things that's on my list too, is to do everything from scratch. But when you're dealing with leather, a lot of times when they get the animal, they skin the animal, and then they take what's now is called the hide, and it's a treatment. It's a treatment that you have to take that hide, and then after you skin it well, then you have to put it into a solution. This solution is basically salt. The salt cures it. Once they cure it in that salt process, they take it out and they double strip it again, make sure everything's cool, and then they dry it out. Once they dry it out, now the dyeing process starts. You can get it, leather comes tan. Most leather comes tan. Any animal that becomes a hide, the leather is tan itself.
Okay.
Now after that, the tanning process, now you could take it and put color into it. They got different colors. That's why you see white alligator, red alligator, purple alligator, because they dyed it. And then after they dye it, you put a treatment over top of it. It's a sheen. So now that locks the color in. Once the color's locked in, you can pretty much do what you want. So now I just cut it and make what I want.
What animals produce the softest leather?
Deer.
Deer. Okay.
Deer skin is the softest skin you can get. Deer skin. And I love working with deerskin because it comes in gauges. So a deerskin may be like a 6 gauge thickness, and that's thick, but it's so soft. So, and I'm glad you brought that up. I need to order some more deerskin. Women cannot resist deerskin.
What is the most costly type of skin that you can order?
Exotic skins. At the top of the ranks, it would be alligator.
Okay.
Alligator, ostrich. Those are like the biggest ones that you can get the biggest pieces from. And then after that, then you start getting smaller. You got stingray. Stingray is lovely because when you see it, it's great. It creates a diamond in the middle of the stingray, and most people, you'll see that on like shoes, wallets. If you ever seen that diamond with a spot in the middle and it's like little bubbles all around it, that's stingray. Okay. Then you got ostrich leg, python. Oh, I'm sorry, it would be alligator, ostrich, and python. Those are the biggest ones because you can get a whole python, they get big.
Right.
And I love the dyeing process in those because the python is like the thinner one of those, but it's really strong. But they're very long.
Long, yeah.
Right. So we talked about the process. We talked about the different products that you make. Mm-hmm. So let's get into the important part. Where can they purchase your product? Where can they find you?
Oh, so it's easy. It's on my show.
There you go. Always be advertising. I love it.
So you can get me on any social media platform. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at A Stratton. That's ASTRATTON. And also, if you want to see these products directly purchased, you can go to my website. Also, that's astratton.com. So any platform is A Stratton. By the way, this A is for my first name, which is Allen, and the last name, which is Stratton, and that's the name of my brand, which is A Stratton. So any platform, if you want to go get a product or you just want to follow me, you'll see on my page, you'll see me doing most of my stuff by hand. Right. I like when people see it so they can say, yeah, he made this. Mm-hmm. So I post a lot of stuff, and also on YouTube as well. Everything is A Stratton.
Awesome.
So I know you're the leather king, mm-hmm. and we talked a lot about that, so far. But you're involved a lot in your community, and I want to focus on that for a minute. So can you tell the folks out there the nonprofit that you're deeply involved in?
Yes. Well, I'm actually the president. So, like I said, when I was younger, I got in trouble and I got incarcerated. So one of the things that I wanted to do as a passion was come back and be able to give back to the community. Mm-hmm. I wanted to deal with the youth, though, specifically the youth. I didn't want to be all over the place. So I started a nonprofit. The nonprofit is called Youth Elm. Youth Elm stands for teaching the youth how to become entrepreneur. The word Elm, ELM, stands for teaching kids how to become entrepreneurs, leaders, and mentors. Mm-hmm. And one of the main ways I teach them how to become entrepreneurs is through press and print. Mm-hmm. I teach kids how to start their own clothing brand if they want, but some kids don't want to start a clothing brand. I also teach them how to start a press and print contracting company where they can come and say, hey, y'all need shirts for y'all show? Y'all need shirts for daycare? And I teach them how to make residual income immediately. Nice. Some kids can't wait through college or through school. They need to make money now because they have their own problems, and I don't want them to have to turn to illegal sources. Mm-hmm. So how can you make money right now? Well, my organization, Youth Elm, teach them how to make residual income immediately.
Mm.
I love it. So.
Entrepreneurship, leadership, and mentoring. So they become, in effect, mentors.
Yes.
For their peers.
Yes, that's the great part about. We reverse it back to them. Mm-hmm. We make it a ripple effect.
All right.
So we're gonna cut the we're trying to cut the narrative of eating crab out at a young age. Here, you learn how to make these shirts. Teach your brother, teach your cousin, teach your homie, right? But not only that, this is a lucrative business. Maybe your mom want to know how to make this business. Maybe your dad want to know. We teach up as well. We don't just teach across.
Right. Let
them teach up. You know what I mean? And then that becomes another family income.
That's right.
Residual income, teaching financial literacy. You know what I mean? Dad, here you go. Go get the press and print. Go get this. Go get that. Let's go make this money.
I love it. So for those of you who don't know, so you're located in Philadelphia. So if you're interested or if you have a child that would love to participate in your nonprofit, how can they reach out to you? I'm
at that. I stay at the youth platform where they're at. I reach them where they're at. So we're on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. So that's Youth Elm, just the word youth and ELM.
Okay.
One word. And we also have a website. So it's youthelm.com. You also can go there, youthelm.com. Now, if you see that the page isn't up right now, don't worry about it. We in effect, like it's building, we add pictures and stuff like that.
All right. Excellent.
Good stuff. So, well, I appreciate it. I don't know, Philly, if you have any more.
No, this is an excellent interview.
No, thank y'all. This is great.
I just think your story is very phenomenal. It's very interesting, and I'm sure it resonates with a lot of individuals out there, specifically in the Black community, and how you just paying it forward to the youth. So I personally want to say thank you, because we need more individuals like you in our community. So thank you.
And I just want to thank you for not only being an entrepreneur, but being a leader within the community.
Thank you.
Because as Philly already said, it's more important than ever. And providing a gateway for our kids not to be left behind, which is what you're doing. You're providing them opportunities not to remain stagnant, not to go backwards, but to be a part of this global economic system that we're all a part of, whether we like it or not. So I am inspired just listening to the fact that you're doing intercontinental, international commerce.
Yes.
Because that's what you're involved in.
Yes.
And I'm proud to be sitting here next to you as my brother, and, you know, as a strong Black man in our community, as we need more and more of that. Living examples, and that's what you're doing. You're being a living testament to your story. You're living your creed. So, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be in this spot, and it's more of a blessing to be recognized. And I take that, and I'm gonna pass that on to what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
You're welcome. So with that.